establishing a currency for Brics nations, lessen our dependence on the US dollar, strengthen our economies. After all, we are now suffering with a weakened rand to dollar rate. That means another fuel price hike is likely on the cards next month. Let's speak now to Professor William Gumede of the Wits School of Governance.
Importantly, the world, the global economy, global trade rules, global political rules, global cultural rules are unequal. Developing countries have less say, in global institutions, and also, global markets, and also global culture.
De-dollarization, Brics, and Wall Street worries. We all know that the value of the US dollar holds significant sway in global economics. Recently, Scotiabank made waves with its forecast predicting a fall in the dollar's value throughout 2024. This forecast sheds light on the increasing influence of the Brics alliance. Ready to unravel the secrets behind the dollar's potential downfall? First off, Scotiabank is not just sounding the alarm, they've crunched the numbers and forecasted a significant decline in the value of the US dollar throughout 2024. They attribute this anticipated downturn to geopolitical shifts and macroeconomic challenges. Specifically, Scotiabank points to the growing influence of the Brics alliance as a major player in this forecasted greenback depreciation. The Brics alliance has been steadily expanding its international presence, fueled in part by Western sanctions that inadvertently pushed them to reduce reliance on the US dollar. This strategic pivot aims to bolster their economic sovereignty and reduce exposure to US-centric financial systems. Scotiabank's report emphasizes the significance of these moves, highlighting how the collective actions of Brics nations, coupled with broader macroeconomic trends, are poised to put downward pressure on the US dollar. Despite a resilient start to the year for the US dollar, Scotiabank warns that this momentum is unlikely to last. Factors such as narrowing growth and interest rate differences are expected to hinder the dollar's performance, especially compared to currencies of Brics nations and other major global economies. This complex interplay of economic indicators and geopolitical dynamics is reshaping currency valuations on a global scale. Moreover, the drive towards de-dollarization by the Brics bloc is a crucial factor in Scotiabank's forecast. Recent statistics shared by the alliance indicate a diminishing reliance on the greenback, echoed by strategic reserve asset diversification efforts of central banks worldwide. This shift away from the US dollar as the world's primary reserve currency signifies a significant change in the global economic order, potentially diminishing US financial dominance and altering international trade and investment patterns. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin, in an interview with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson, didn't hold back in criticizing the White House's handling of the US dollar. Putin pointed out that while developing countries still heavily utilize the US dollar for trade, its influence is waning due to actions taken by the United States. Specifically, Putin highlighted how US sanctions against Russia inadvertently boosted the Chinese yuan and the ruble. This led to a growing sentiment among Brics and other developing nations to reduce their reliance on the dollar. Putin further emphasized that the US's use of the dollar as a tool for foreign policy is a strategic mistake, contributing to its own currency's decline. He noted that despite the US printing $1 trillion, the currency's global dominance is diminishing, with more countries downsizing their dollar reserves. In fact, Russia's own transactions in currencies like the Chinese yuan have significantly increased, showcasing a shift away from the dollar. This trend is not limited to Brics nations alone. Even US allies like France are expressing concerns over the uncontrolled debt associated with the dollar. French President Emmanuel Macron has urged Europe and other allies to limit dollar usage, highlighting the potential economic risks of the dollar's dominance. The impact of these developments is tangible. The US dollar is now used for less than 60% of global trade, with other currencies gaining ground. Putin's remarks and the broader sentiment among Brics countries signal a concerted effort to challenge the dollar's global reserve currency status. As Wall Street analyst Dick Bove predicts, the era of the US dollar as the world's reserve currency may be coming to an end, with the dollar's dominance on its last leg.
Brazilian President Lula has defended the creation of a common currency for trade among the BRIC countries, which are Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. He expressed his position in Shanghai during the inauguration of former Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff as the head of the new development bank, also known as the Brics Bank. Lula's remarks are certain to please his Chinese hosts, as Beijing has been challenging the US global dominance in recent years.
Now, did you know that a significant shift has occurred in Russia's trade dynamics with key partners like India and China? According to Tatiana Monahan, the Secretary General of the International Chamber of Commerce, a whopping 95% of the country's transactions with India and China were conducted in local currencies last year. This marks a substantial departure from previous years, indicating a deliberate move towards reducing reliance on the US dollar and euro in trade settlements. The data further reveals a sharp decline in the share of the US dollar and euro in Russia's export settlements, dropping from 85.6% in January-December 2021 to just 34.1% over January-May of the following year. Instead, there has been a surge in the use of the Russian ruble in cross-border transactions, reaching 39.1% during the same period. Additionally, settlements in currencies of friendly countries have risen to 26.9%. This trend underscores Russia's strategic shift towards de-dollarization, particularly in response to sanctions that severed its ties with the Western financial system. Furthermore, the increasing trade between China and Russia in various sectors such as automobiles, technical equipment, and electrical machinery highlights the growing economic partnership between the two nations. The dominance of friendly nations in Russia's foreign trade, exceeding 75% in 2023, further reflects the evolving dynamics of global trade and the concerted efforts to diversify away from traditional currency dependencies. These developments not only signify a shift in Russia's trade patterns, but also contribute to the broader narrative of de-dollarization and the quest for economic sovereignty among nations. But before we move on, we just want to thank you for watching this far. Moreover, Russia has made significant strides in challenging the Western-dominated payment system SWIFT with its alternative, the System for Transmitting Financial Messages. According to Russia's central bank governor Elvira Nabiullina, over 159 foreign participants have already joined the SPFS, signaling a growing interest in diversifying away from traditional financial networks. The quest for an alternative to SWIFT within the Brics alliance has been a focal point of infrastructure development. This initiative gained momentum during a recent Brics discussion. Nabiullina highlighted the importance of such platforms in reducing dependency on the US dollar, particularly in the face of Western sanctions. As part of their de-dollarization efforts, the Brics bloc, including newly invited member Iran, has actively sought alternatives to traditional financial systems. The SPFS presents a viable option, with 20 countries already joining forces with Russia to move away from the US dollar, creating their respective financial platforms. This collaborative approach signifies a strategic shift towards greater financial autonomy and resilience against external pressures. Furthermore, veterans like Dick Bove recognize the significance of Brics de-dollarization efforts. With a collective wealth exceeding $45 trillion, the bloc is not merely aiming for economic independence, but also seeking to establish a currency rivaling the greenback. The prospect of a Brics currency gaining traction is becoming increasingly plausible, especially as the alliance expands its membership and influence. As Wall Street observes these developments, the implications for the US dollar post-2024 remain a subject of intense scrutiny. The ongoing efforts by Brics nations to reduce their reliance on the dollar and shifts in growth and interest rate differentials suggest a future where the dollar's dominance may be challenged. So, how do you think the rise of Brics will impact the global financial landscape? Join the conversation in the comments below, and while you're at it, make sure to smash the like and subscribe buttons down below. Additionally, if you want to know more about countries joining Brics, I highly recommend watching this amazing video. Simply click this video right here. Thank you for tuning in and stay tuned for more exciting content in the future.